Today, I'm going to be showing you how to do 3 lower glute exercises that, when done consistently, can help to reshape and firm up that area. You can do these at home, no equipment needed. We're going to be starting with single leg hip thrusts, followed by reverse lunges. I'll also show you a variation on the reverse lunges that you can do if you need more of a challenge. And then we'll be finishing up with sliding leg curls. So let's get started. As far as how many sets to do and how many days a week, this is very individualized based on if you're a beginner, how well you recover. There's really not a one-size-fits-all for how many sets and reps. I would suggest building up to 2 sets of 10 reps for each exercise twice a week. You could do more than that. You might have to do less than that. Again, it really depends on how well you recover, and you may not know that yet if you're a beginner. So the first move we're going to do is the single leg hip thrust. Now, I use a bench because I have a bench. If you don't have an exercise bench like this, you can use the couch. I just recommend that you take the cushion off the couch so that you have a more sturdy surface on your back. But I'm going to use the exercise bench for the purpose of this demonstration, but you can use a couch if you don't have a bench. So the single leg hip thrust works this lower glute area. It also works the quads. All of these exercises that I'm showing you, they don't only work the lower glutes, but they isolate the lower glutes. So with the single leg hip thrust, this is what it looks like. I'm just going to do one to show you. Do the other leg. So with the single leg hip thrust, you want to have your back up against the surface of the bench or the couch. You're on one foot. When you lift your body up, you want to make sure that when you're at the top position, that your leg is at a 90-degree angle. Your upper leg and then your lower leg is at a 90-degree angle. You don't want to have your leg out like this. That's out too far. You also don't want to have your leg way in too far, like this, too close to you, because then your knee goes forward too much. So you're planting your foot right at about where you're going to be at roughly a 90-degree angle with your leg when you're up. It's okay to bring your body back as you see me doing with these. You don't need to keep your chin tucked with these with the single leg. So you can bring your body up and you're really squeezing this lower glute area. You can feel it in here and you're going to feel it in here. You want to do a slow pause at the top. So pause, and then you want to come down slow. Up, pause, and down slow. You don't want to arch your back. So as you see, I'm bringing my back this way. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to end up hyperextending your spine and really arching your back. So you're keeping a flat back, a neutral back, as you bring your leg up and back down. Other leg. Now the second move is the reverse lunge, and I'm going to just do one to show you what it looks like. So for the reverse lunge, you're going to just put your hands on your hips or keep them down this way, and then you're going to step back, lunge down, almost touch your knee to the ground, but not quite. Stand back up. And again, we're trying to build up to 2 sets of 10 on each leg. So a couple key pointers for the reverse lunge. You want to make sure that when you're stepping back far enough that when you're down here, your upper leg and lower leg are at a 90-degree angle-ish, or very close to that. Like with the single leg hip thrust in that up position, you want that 90-degree angle. So what you don't want to do, you don't want to bring your leg back so far that you're angled this way with your lower leg. And what you also don't want to do is have your leg that goes back. You don't want to have that so close to you that you end up having this knee come forward over the foot. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to how it feels. If you need to do it in front of a mirror, I use a mirror often for these kinds of things to make sure I'm in the right position. So again, we're going to step back with one leg, slowly go down. It doesn't have to be super slow. Just, you don't want to be flopping down. So you're going to come down, knee almost touching the floor, but not quite. You don't want to plant the knee down and get comfortable because then you're going to take the work off of this lower glute area here in that moment, and that's just going to prevent it from getting the work it needs. And then you're going to stand back up, and you're going to repeat that 10 times on each leg. Another thing that you want to make sure you don't do is you don't want to use that back leg and push off of it and use the momentum of that to stand up. So an example of what you don't want to do. Once you come down, you don't want to push and end up just kind of swinging your body and using that back foot to push you up. The whole point of this exercise is once you're down, you're going to really feel this stretch in this back glute area. The areas that you're stretching are the areas that are working. So you want to make sure that you're coming up without using that back foot as momentum to push you. That's really going to help isolate that lower glute area and give you a nice big stretch there. One thing you can do to make these more challenging if you need to is you can use a step. Just going to grab my step here. I have these steps that are stackable. You can get these on Amazon or wherever you can get exercise equipment, but I'll take the top one off, and you can use something like this as long as it's a flat, steady surface and it's not up too high for you. So in that case, we're stepping back, same idea. But now we're going down a little farther than we were since we have our foot up here. We're getting more of a deep stretch in the glute. And then coming up. So again, that's just a variation to make it more challenging if you need so. If you don't have an elevated little platform like this, anything that's elevated enough that gives you a bit of a challenge that's nice and firm and stable is okay. You can even do this off of a step in your house on the stairs if you want. So, and the last exercise is the sliding leg curls. Now, like I said, you don't need any actual exercise gym equipment for these exercises. For this move, if you have these slider things that you can get, again, on Amazon or anywhere you can get exercise stuff, if you don't have a slider, we're going to use a paper plate. And if you don't have a paper plate, you can just use a towel on a slippery surface. So for the sliding leg curls, we're going to put our heels on the slidey things. We're going to go up like this. You're going to bring your legs out. Slow. Now, some of you may only get that far. Some of you may not even get that far. The goal while you're doing this move is to keep your butt up. Try to prevent, don't let your body sag. Try your best and not let your body sag down. Keep your kind of tucked butt like this. And you're just slowly lowering. You want to try to keep your feet straight. Try not to make your legs go out all over the place. You want to keep a straight path with your legs. And you may get to this point and you can't hold it anymore, and that's okay. Try to hold it as long as you can. If you feel like you're going to give out, just stop. That might be all you can do initially if you're new to these. These are harder than they look. So again, sliding out, sliding out, sliding out the whole time, keeping your butt tucked in or up, keeping your legs straight, keeping your feet straight, pushing through the heels, keeping on the heels, keeping on the heels, keeping on the heels, keeping on the heels. And then if you can't come back up with the slidey things on your feet, you just come down, reset, up, slide. Now, of course, your butt is going to start lowering naturally as your feet get farther and farther away. But when I say to keep your butt up, again, you don't want to, at this point, already be drooping down. You want to really try to keep tucked in here. This really works. Actually, these really work the hamstrings. But that helps with that glute ham tie-in area, as they call it, where the glutes meet the hamstrings and kind of gives it a little bit of that kind of little support and oomph. The glutes need oomph from the hamstrings. So sliding out again. Now, if you can come back up, once you reach the bottom, you're going to slide back up. Slide back down. Slide back up. Again, these are really hard. You might only be able to do one. You might be able to do two. The important thing is that you're doing proper form. And even if it means that all you can do is go to here and you're like, oh my God, I can't move my feet out anymore. If I move my feet out anymore, my legs are going to give out on me. Try to hold it right there. Just try to hold it a little bit and then just let it go. Do that again if you can. This is I want to mention that reshaping your body, building muscle is a very slow process. You have to be patient. Easier said than done, I know. You have to be consistent. If you do these consistently, if you do any exercise consistently, especially weightlifting, if you're looking to reshape your body and resculpt your body recomposition, weightlifting is really great for that. You will see results. But if you need to go slow, that's okay. You don't want to injure yourself. You just have to kind of get to know how you're recovering, how sore you are. If you're doing the workout more than 1 day a week, if you're doing it 2 days a week, try to space those days out. Now, if you've gotten good at these to the point where you can do a single leg, you can do single leg. So you'll use one leg on the slidey thing. You probably have another name than slidey thing. And you're going to just leave this leg up here like this. And then again, keeping on your heel, keeping the leg straight, keeping the foot forward, trying to keep the butt up as much as you can. Slowly lower, slowly lower, slowly lower, slowly lower. And then if you can't come back up with that, you just reset and do it again. Slowly lower. And if you can come back up, you can come back up. Now, if you don't have the sliders, as I said, you can use a paper plate. Well, you'll be using 2 paper plates if you need to use both legs to do the movement. I'm just going to demonstrate with 1 paper plate. And then that's it. And if you don't have a carpeted area where these types of items aren't going to slide as easily, you can use a towel. So like a small hand towel or some sort of towel on your feet and use that to slide on any kind of slippery surface if you don't have a carpeted area. So that works as well. kind of fun to just slide around on. So I hope you found this video helpful today. And remember, as I said, building muscle and reshaping your body is a slow process. So be patient, be consistent, and you will see results over time. Now, one thing that can make it hard to see the changes in your muscle is if you have extra body fat. And if you've been having trouble losing weight and you feel like you've been trying everything and you're just not seeing the results you need, this next video may be helpful, where I talk about, do we realize how much we're eating? The calories? So check out that video if you're interested. Please hit the subscribe button. I look forward to making more content like this for you. Have a great day.